Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
Blocked by James. Turned back and forth. Oh, he broke his ankles.
1-1 from Tyson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
What's going on, PSO gang? It's your boy Brandon.
Hey, what's going on? It's Rob.
What's up, y'all? It's Mike. Let's get to it.
And we're getting right into the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are a team that only has their sights set on the Super Bowl, and they came up just short last year. And the main reason why they did is because of their offensive line, and they completely retooled and revamped that line.
They got depleted.
They got rid of Mitchell Schwartz. They got rid of Eric Fisher.
They got rid of everybody.
Oh, yeah, got rid of everybody. Simile was hurt, got rid of his ass too. But they got Joe Thuney, they got Kyle Long, Austin Blythe, Orlando Brown. They did some really good things on the offensive line. They got a lot of depth.
They drafted two studs too.
Yep, they drafted Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. So, I mean, this team really went all in on the offensive line because it's really the only hole that they had at all last year. Let's talk about another addition. They got Jaron Reid at defensive tackle. He should do some all right things. He played pretty good in Seattle, but he's not really a bookend at the D tackle spot. They lost Sammy Watkins. I already talked about the offensive line. They lost Damian Williams, didn't play last year, but he's also gone now. Tano Passanio started a lot of games. He didn't really do too much. Didn't really get a lot of sacks. Yeah, he was a bust. Lost Bashad Breeland, and they lost Damian Wilson at the linebacker position. But like Rob said, they did get two really good draft picks in Creed Humphrey. I don't know how Trey Smith made it to the 6th round. He was a 5-star prospect at the university.
I think it was a medical condition, I want to say.
Yeah, he actually had blood clots in his lungs multiple times when he played at the University of Tennessee. But it's never been a question about his talent. He's been a 5-star prospect. He's been all SEC basically every single year. He's a top-notch player.
He was holding his own against SEC defensive linemen, like you were saying. He looked great in the preseason. Looks like a first-year starting kind of player.
Yep, and talking about the SEC, they also drafted Nick Bolton, the linebacker out of Missouri, but I think he'll be a really good player in the future.
Yeah, when you look at the Chiefs this year, I really see this team as the first team with a legit chance to go undefeated through the regular season entering the year since those 2007 Patriots. Top to bottom, they're very stacked. Obviously, so many things have to go right for that to actually happen. First of all, guys got to stay healthy. Unlike last year on the offensive line, that offensive line has to somehow find cohesion, even though they're a new unit. But they did look really good in the preseason. They've been playing really well. The two rookies have stepped up. The studs they added in free agency have looked just as good as they looked last year, or in a trade in Orlando's case. And just so many things have to go right. From the defensive side of things, you got to be able to rush the passer since you're going to be having leads. They made a very interesting move, moving Chris Jones, one of the best, arguably the best defensive lineman in football besides Aaron Donald, outside to the edge. So he's going to have more opportunities to get after the passer. Him and Frank Clark, the shark, going after those guys in the backfield. And so that'll be an interesting thing to keep in mind of. And it's obviously is going to be Mahomes' show in Kansas City. Like, he's an electric player to watch, and maybe he does deal with another broken foot this year. You know, maybe he does get concussed in the postseason. Maybe the entire offensive line is depleted by the time they're in the Super Bowl. The receivers could drop 3 different touchdowns in that game, and the refs could make some questionable calls against the Vegas favorite in the Super Bowl. We saw those things happen last year, and if it does happen this year, don't expect them to win. But it's really hard to expect all those things to happen again and stand in the way of Mahomes getting his 2nd Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Chiefs are dynamic. It's the best way to put it. That offense is fun to watch. Probably one of the better, if not the best offenses we've seen in so long. With that said, there's so many guys that you can give the ball to. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Travis Kelce, McCole Hardman. He's an up-and-coming guy.
He's a young
man. Could be a huge year for him. Yeah, they got rid of Sammy Watkins. It's going to be more, more opportunity for him. A guy that I'm looking at, though, is Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. So the Chiefs, they're not really known for running the ball too much. They're really pass-heavy kind of offense. They put the ball in Mahomes' hands, which I think anybody would do that at the end of the day. So I'm looking at under 10.5 combined touchdowns for CEH. Might seem a little bit low. Obviously, the guys are receiving threat as well. But at the end of the day, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, they're touchdown machines. They're going to give you your touchdowns. You know that for a fact. Like I said earlier, McCole Hardman, he's going to be up and coming. So I just don't see Clyde getting all the necessary touches that he needs to get over that hump of double-digit touchdowns. So we're going to go under the 10.5 total touchdowns, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire.
And they don't even have just so many guys you can give the ball to. They have so many touchdown threats. Like every time Tyreek touches the ball, he could score. Travis Kelce's a red zone target. Mecole Hardman's a home run threat. So they have a lot of guys that are gonna score those touchdowns that aren't Clyde Edwards-Hilaire and like what you're talking about. And Andy Reid is known for all these like smoke and mirrors plays, especially at the goal line or 1st and 5 or 1st and goal situations where they do all these sort of things where they look like they're about to give it to Clyde, but it's actually like a pitch to Tyreek Hill on a sweeping motion, or Mahomes coming out in play action and then finding like the backup tight end Blake Bell or something. So I do like the under 10.5 for Clyde. He could have a great year, put like 1,200, 1,300 yards on the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
But then those 10.5 touchdowns, you're going to see Andy Reid's creativity might get in the way of that for sure.
Exactly. A lot of home run ability on this team. This team's going to be up in a lot of games. So expect some of the second halves they're in. They're going to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more not as aggressive as they could be because they'll be up by so much. So Kansas City is Super Bowl bust this year.
Got Las Vegas up next, man.
Let's do it.